These breakfasts were never meant to make children feel full. During the Great Depression, many American children woke up already knowing there would be almost nothing waiting in the kitchen. Some ate dry bread dipped in hot water because the family had no milk left. Others shared one cold biscuit with brothers and sisters before leaving for school with empty stomachs. But children noticed everything. Who walked into class smelling like bacon and pancakes? Who carried warm leftovers wrapped in paper? And who quietly drank water before school just to make the pain in their stomach hurt a little less? In many homes, parents pretended they had already eaten so their children could take the last pieces of bread without feeling guilty. Some mothers stood silently in dark kitchens, trying to decide which child would get the larger piece. And for many children, the worst part was not the hunger itself. It was sitting in class, already knowing other children could see exactly how poor your family really was. Some children became experts at hiding how hungry they really were. A few arrived at school early just to avoid standing near classmates eating warm breakfasts before class. Others stayed outside longer than necessary because the smell of food inside the building made their stomach hurt even more. Some children carried small pieces of bread in their pockets and ate them slowly during the morning so nobody would notice they had almost nothing at home. Teachers began noticing students falling asleep at their desks, struggling to focus, or staring too long at other children opening real meals. And in many schools, children from poorer families stopped talking about food altogether because every conversation became another reminder of what their parents could no longer afford. But in some classrooms during the 1930s, teachers eventually started noticing something even more disturbing. In some American schools during the Great Depression, teachers started keeping extra food hidden inside their desks. Crackers, bread, small pieces of fruit, anything they could quietly hand to children who looked too weak to concentrate. Some students arrived every morning with shaking hands after eating almost nothing at home. Others tried to sleep during lessons because hunger made it difficult to stay awake. In poorer neighborhoods, local charities began serving emergency breakfasts before school just to keep children from fainting in class. A bowl of oatmeal, watered-down milk, weak coffee, sometimes only bread and hot soup during the winter. And for many children, it was the first warm food they had eaten since the day before. But even those meals created another painful problem. Some children became so ashamed of needing free food that they waited until everyone else looked away before stepping forward to take it. Back at home, many parents were quietly skipping breakfast so their children could eat something before school. Some mothers reused bread that had already gone stale, softening it with water or thin milk, because throwing food away was unthinkable. In many kitchens, breakfast looked almost identical every morning. Dry toast, weak oatmeal, potatoes left over from dinner the night before. Some children started waking up earlier just to help stretch meals for younger brothers and sisters. Others learned to pretend they were no longer hungry because they could see the fear on their parents' faces whenever food started running low. And even when families finally had enough money to buy proper breakfasts again years later, many children who lived through the Great Depression never forgot those mornings. Some grew up hiding extra bread in drawers or refusing to waste even the smallest scraps of food. Because once hunger becomes part of childhood, it rarely disappears completely. For millions of American children, breakfast during the Great Depression stopped feeling like part of childhood. It became a daily reminder of how fragile life at home had become. Long before school started, many children were already worrying about whether there would be enough bread left for tomorrow morning. Some families watered down milk so heavily that children barely recognized the taste anymore. Others saved small amounts of sugar for special occasions because even simple sweetness started feeling rare. And while wealthier Americans still spoke about comfort foods and family breakfasts, poorer children often remembered mornings as the quietest part of the entire day. Empty kitchens, parents trying not to look worried, the sound of plates holding almost nothing at all. Decades later, many Americans who survived the 1930s still remembered those breakfasts more clearly than birthdays, holidays, or school lessons. Because for many children, hunger was not something they experienced once. It became part of growing up itself.